Jerry the Snake Man, and today we're going to bring you king snakes and some milk snakes and what we call a jungle corn. So stay tuned and watch. Here's a Brooks king snake. This is a Hypo. He's very light in color, very beautiful. This king snake here, I love when he eats though. He really twirls it around. Brooks king snakes are one of the larger kind of king snakes. They're kind of related to the Floridian king snakes, which get larger than most of your normal kings. Get a range of about 5 to 6 feet. Get a thicker body. This guy here though, he's not as long. He's probably a good 3.5, possibly 4 feet. Like I said, he's very calm. I love this guy. He's an awesome eater. I have actually, I don't know if he's going to eat it for us today, but I have a baby chick here. Let's see if he wants this. He's usually pretty good about taking food. There he goes. And I love him. There he goes. Spins it around quite a bit. He loves to coil it up. I call him my spinner. As you can see, he just keeps trying to wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. He is totally awesome. When it comes to eating, he's never refused a meal. This is actually his first chick that I've given him. Normally he eats mice and rats. But as you can see, he had no problem taking that chick. And here's a Sinaloan milk snake. As you can see, he's very brightly colored. A lot of times these snakes are confused with coral snakes because of their coloration and their banding. On a coral snake though, the red and the yellow bands, which these are more of a beige, but the red to the yellow bands would actually be touching, which is indicate a coral snake. Here you have red to black touching, which would indicate it's a non-venomous snake. They say red to yellow kill a fellow, red to black venom lack. The milk snakes here have a old wives' tale that goes along with them that says that they were to drink the milk from cows, and that's utterly ridiculous because there's no way a cow is going to stand there and let a snake with all those sharp needle-like teeth bite on its udder. Plus the fact that snakes only drink water, they don't drink milk. This is a very beautiful snake, one of the very popular snakes. As far as keeping, because of the coloration, it is gorgeous. And this here is a California king snake. This is an albino version. As you can see, he's approximately about maybe 30 inches. He's not overly thick. Thing I like about king snakes is they do stay relatively small in size. They don't get overly large where they're not too much to handle. The fact that they do stay small is nice. You can keep them in like a 20 long enclosure with no problem. These guys here though are ferocious eaters. King snakes rarely turn down a meal. This is an albino form. You can see the nice coloration here. He just got a little bit of a pattern on him that's barely visible. It's kind of like of an off-white, like a little bit of a yellow. He's got the red eyes. King snakes are snake-eating snakes, which is kind of cool. One of their favorite meals is rattlesnakes, baby rattlesnakes. King snakes are immune to the bite of a rattlesnake, so if they were to be bitten, the venom would not affect them. And again, as you can see, they're awesome looking snakes. They have smaller size. They are very quick to want to look for food, So when you open their enclosure, you have to let them know that there's no food available. Normally they'll come darting up to the edge, and I just leave them. They normally won't come out. They'll come up to the edge, they'll look over. Once they realize there's no food, then I can reach in and pick them up, and they usually don't try to bite at me. And here's another California king snake. As you can see, this one is differently colored. It's a very pale coloration. It looks like its colors are almost faded. And again, this one's about maybe 30 inches, 24 to 30 inches long. Not a very big body size, as you can see. Very friendly, doesn't try to bite. They make great pets. King snakes are one of my favorite type of snakes. When somebody's looking for especially a baby snake, and they want a snake that they're not going to have too much trouble with eating and everything, I definitely recommend king snakes for that purpose. King snakes do, though, I consider them sneaky biters every once in a while. If you keep your king snake hungry, when you hold him, you will smell like a snake, and they normally don't strike at you. They just simply will start rubbing their nose a little bit on your skin or your finger, and they'll open their mouth and just bite you and then try to swallow you. Because of course you smell like a snake, and that's part of one of the things they do like to eat. King snakes will pretty much eat just about anything you offer them. Again, they're awesome pets, and they come in such a wide variety of color and patterns that they are totally awesome. And this is an adult Florida king snake. And you can see he's pretty awesome. Got the dark colorations with the light speckling into him. Again, he's the larger of the king snakes, the Floridian king snakes. They get larger than the California king snakes. This guy can get up to 6 feet. He's probably a good 4 feet right now. He won't get much larger than that, though, because he's a couple years old. He's very curious. As you can see, he's not trying to bite me, but he is very curious on what's going on. Oh, there he goes. Thought my hand was a male. Look at him. He's looking a little bit hungry right now. You can see he kind of came after me a little bit, but they're not overly aggressive. But he definitely is in a hungry mood here. Should have saved a chick for him, but his feeding schedule is coming up soon, so I will be getting a nice size small rat or a couple mice. But he is an awesome specimen. I use him for my shows again. And down in Florida, he would be eating nice little baby eastern diamondback rattlesnakes, or any other kind of snake he would catch. And this is a common king snake. This is a little guy, though, but he is awesome in coloration. He has what we consider the high whites and the jet black blacks. I love this kind of snake. He's one of my favorite. And what we do is we ask people at our shows, are like, well, how will this coloration or this pattern camouflage him? And one little girl, which was a very cute answer, says, well, if he was on the keyboard of a piano, you wouldn't see him. And actually, I did put him on the keyboard once, and he does blend in very well with the black and white markings. But that's not how it really works. His coloration is similar to a zebra's stripes. When he's in motion, these black and white colors and patterns will help to blend him, cause him to be a blur. So hawks or something else that happens to spot him as he takes off, he will come blurry, and hopefully they'll lose sight of him. But this is one of my favorite king snakes because of this coloration, the high blacks and the high whites. And here we got a Mexican black king snake, and this came in as an adoption, and I decided to adopt him myself. As you see right here, he's got a wound where he was bitten apparently by a mouse, a live mouse that he was being fed. That's why I prefer not to feed him live. I prefer to feed him frozen thawed or freshly killed. These guys are awesome snakes. The name Lampropeltis, which is the scientific Latin name for king snakes and milk snakes, is really demonstrated here on this snake. It's means tiny shiny shields, and each one of his scales here are little tiny shields that are very shiny, and his belly also is extremely shiny and iridescent. You can see the rainbow pattern on his stomach in certain lights. These guys are extremely friendly, as you can see. King snakes are very good eaters, and for some reason every one of these, even though they're solid jet black, if you turn them over here, you'll notice two white dots under their chin. I don't know if you can see that. Two white dots under their chin, and you'll find that on every Mexican black king snake. Again, these make great pets. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, just that jet black color to me is so cool and awesome. And I really like these guys. They're very active. They move around a lot. They like to explore. And they just make a very, very good pet. This here is an eastern milk snake, and they normally aren't biters, but they are very quick. I call them spasmodic. They like to flail around a lot, very quick. These are really cool snakes, but being I live in New York and they're native to my state, I do have to have a license from the DEC, collect and possess license to have these snakes. These snakes, though, in New York, they get misidentified very often. I get called out to see if there's a copperhead, and it usually ends up simply being a milk snake. They have similar patterns to a copperhead, but if their head markings are, they do have head markings here, where a copperhead's head is solid. The other thing they get called out for once in a while, milk snakes, is they say that they're rattlesnakes. The reason why is because most snakes, even these milk snakes here, when they get aggravated or scared, they rattle their tails violently, and most people don't realize that most snakes do that. They think only rattlesnakes do, so right away they think that this is a rattlesnake. These are harmless snakes. They're very good. Milk snakes are snake-eating snakes as well, but I don't find that they're as aggressive to eat other snakes as the king snakes are. I include them in this video clip, though, because milk snakes and king snakes are basically very similar, like cousins. They're both Lampropeltis, is their first Latin name. And again, they are very beautiful. They can come in more of a reddish pattern or more of a grayish pattern. But these snakes are very awesome, and I do keep them. You don't find them very often for sale. I don't know why, that they don't breed them, but these snakes are very cool looking snakes and are very common in the upstate area where I live. This here's my speckled milk snake. He's pretty awesome too. You can see he's kind of a chunky monkey here. He's got quite a bit of a body girth. He loves to eat. Never really tried to bite me, but again, you can see he's kind of quick moving, moves around quite a lot. Nice little, like, kind of a little saddles, but not really. He's more like striped here with his little banding going on. Does like to move around. He blends in very well. As you can see, if he was in any kind of deserty environment, he would just blend right into the sand. You wouldn't even notice that he was around. And lastly, we have here is what's called a jungle corn. And you would wonder why. Well, it's a corn snake. Well, actually it's not. It's a cross between a corn snake and a king snake. It's got more of the corn snake patterns. Very quick, as you can see. He came also in as a rescue, and I decided to keep him. One of the things with him, though, is, and it's not because he's a crossbreed, he's blind. He can't see. He eats very well. Once he identifies the fact that it's food, he will grab it from you, no problem. He has never struck at me. He's not aggressive. He's very skittish, though, because I think because of his being blind. But once he realizes that you're not going to hurt him, he will settle down. I love his coloration. Like I said, he's a rather good-sized snake here. I've had him now probably for a good 3 or 4 years. When I got him, he was already quite old, so he's up there in age, but still very active, very healthy. And again, he's a cross between a corn snake and a king snake. And not that I'm a big fan of what they call the hybrids. I wouldn't do it myself, but this guy here, he is a very cool looking snake and with a great attitude. And being he's blind, I also can use him in my shows, showing that just because he's handicapped, it doesn't stop him from surviving very well. He uses his tongue for his smell. Even though he can't see, he does identify things by the smell, and he is a great snake.